At 70 years old, choosing comfort over your dreams doesn't bring peace. It feels like slowly burying yourself while you're still alive. I'm 70, and the most painful truth I've learned is that I don't lose my dreams in some big, dramatic tragedy. I just quietly traded them, one comfortable day at a time. Until one morning I woke up and realized they were gone. If you're under 40 and think you still have time, I need you to listen to this, like your future self is speaking directly to you. When I was young, people would have called me responsible. I always did what was expected of me. I was the reliable one, the steady one, the guy who never took unnecessary risks. On paper, my life looked perfectly fine. I had the job, the apartment, got married, had kids, paid the bills. I was exactly the kind of person everyone points to and says, he's doing well. But there was another part of me that nobody saw. A part that wanted more than just being fine. In my early 20s, my dreams felt way too big for the small life I was living. I wanted to start my own business, maybe a small cafe or a design studio. I loved to write. I wanted to travel, not just as a tourist on some 5-day tours, but to actually live abroad for a year, to get lost, to see who I could become when I wasn't surrounded by everyone's expectations. If you had asked me back then, what do you want from life? I wouldn't have mentioned salaries or job titles. I would have told you about a life full of stories, places, and people. And then, well, life happened. It started small. A temporary job that was only supposed to last for a while until I figured things out. The pay was decent. The hours were predictable. I told myself, I'll stay for a couple of years, save some money, and then I'll start that business. You know what kills dreams faster than failure? Comfort. Comfort whispers, what's the rush? You can always try later. I remember one evening, in my late 20s, a friend Samir came over. He always had 10 ideas and 5 projects going at once. He told me he was starting a small company and said, you should join us. You hate your job anyway. Imagine what we could build. My heart jumped. The 18-year-old version of me woke up. I could see it. Late nights working on something that mattered. The risk, the possibility. But then another voice spoke up. What if it fails? What about the steady salary? What will people say? I smiled at him and said the line that became a pattern in my life. Not now. Maybe later. Things are a bit stressful right now. Later. That word became my favorite shield. Later, when I have more savings. Later, when the kids are older. What I didn't understand is that later is a code word for never. If you keep using it long enough. My 30s were a blur of routines. Wake up, commute, work, come home tired, eat, watch something, sleep, repeat. I wasn't miserable. That's the dangerous part. If I had been truly miserable, I might have been forced to change. Instead, I was just comfortable. Not happy. Not fulfilled. Just comfortable. I got promotions, a bigger house, a newer car. At family gatherings, relatives would say, he's doing well. Very settled. Nobody asked, are you alive inside? And I never volunteered that I wasn't. Whenever old dreams tried to come back when I saw a cozy cafe and thought, I wish I owned a place like this, or read a book, and thought, I want to write something that matters, I'd pat those thoughts on the head and say, later. Be realistic. I became very good at telling myself responsible lies. I can't start now. It's too risky. I'm doing this for my family. They need security. I'm too old to start from scratch. If you repeat those lines enough, you stop noticing that they hurt. Then came the turning point. Not a movie-style explosion. It was a normal Tuesday. I was 55, standing in the office pantry, stirring sugar into a coffee I didn't even want. My back hurt. My eyes burned. Someone asked me, so, how many years until you retire? I laughed and said, oh, maybe 10 more. Then I'll finally relax and enjoy life. As I said it, something inside me just snapped. I heard my own voice, and it sounded like a stranger. 10 more years of putting off living for real. I walked back to my desk, sat down, and for the first time, the thought hit me with full force. This can't be it. This cannot be the story of my one life. You'd think that would make me change everything, right? It didn't. I went home, ate dinner, watched TV, and went back to work the next day. Because comfort, once it has you, doesn't let go easily. The real hit came a few years later. My friend Samir, the one who had invited me to join his risky startup, passed away from a sudden heart attack. He was only in his early 60s. At his funeral, people told stories about the crazy risks he took, the businesses that failed, the one that finally worked. He hadn't had an easy life, but as I listened, I realized something. He had lived fully, loudly, imperfectly. On the drive home, the silence felt heavy. I kept thinking, he's gone. But he used his time. What about me? I walked into my safe, comfortable house, and it suddenly felt like a museum of postponed dreams. Books I'd bought for later. A guitar I never learned to play. Old notebooks filled with half-finished stories. I sat on my bed and felt this wave of grief. Not just for my friend, but for the version of myself I had never allowed to exist. I wasn't crying for what I had lost. I was crying for what I had never even dared to try for. That night, I kept hearing one sentence in my mind. You did not choose safety. You chose a slow, quiet kind of death. From my late 50s into my 60s, the consequences became clearer every year. There's a kind of sadness that doesn't show on your face. You can still smile, still joke, but when you're alone, that sadness sits next to you. I started replaying my life, the times I said no to trips because it was not the right time. I realized my life wasn't empty because bad things happened to me. My life was empty because I kept avoiding good things that required courage. Then there was the financial side, which is ironic. I chose stability over risk. I stayed in safe jobs, and yet the company restructured. My position changed. My income didn't grow the way I had imagined. Meanwhile, my friend's little risky company, it had grown. His family had shares. They had something built from his courage, not just his salary. I had worked for decades building other people's dreams. I never built my own. But the hardest part, the deepest regret, wasn't about money or missed adventures. It was about my relationships. Choosing comfort over dreams doesn't just mean staying in a safe job. It also means staying in safe conversations, safe routines, safe versions of yourself. There were so many times I wanted to be more present with my family, to plan a crazy trip with my kids, to take my wife somewhere new instead of the same old restaurant, to move to a different city for a year, just to see what life would be like. But comfort said, that's complicated, that's expensive, that's risky. So I stayed put. Same house, same city, same weekends. I blinked, and my kids were grown. They built their own busy lives, just like I had. Our relationships are okay. We talk, we visit. But that deep closeness that comes from shared adventures, from doing hard, exciting things together, we don't have many of those memories. We have a lot of maybe another time. Now, at 70, I watch them sometimes through a screen video calls, photos of their trips, their kids, and I think, I could have been there. I could have shared more of this. But you cannot hug a memory that never happened. Let me be very clear about the regrets that gnaw at me now. I regret the books I never wrote more than the ones I would have written badly. I regret the business I never started more than any business that might have failed. I regret the countries I never visited more than any long flight or hotel bill. I regret the conversations I avoided more than the arguments I might have had. I spent so much energy trying not to lose anything that I lost the chance to gain the things that mattered most. Comfort is not free. It sends you a bill at the end of your life, and the currency is your what-ifs. So, if you're listening to a 70-year-old talk about his wasted chances, let me leave you with some lessons things I wish someone had shaken me and told me at your age. Lesson 1. If a dream stays in your head for more than a few years, it's a part of you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Start small, but start. Write one page. Save a small amount. Take one class. You cannot keep pretending that ignoring your dreams is responsible. Lesson 2. Comfort will dress itself up as love and duty. I'm doing this for my family. Yes, your family needs security, but they also need a version of you who is alive, not just existing. They need to see you try, fail, and grow. Lesson 3. Fear of failure is loud in your 20s and 30s. But regret is louder in your 60s and 70s. You're afraid people will laugh if you fail. Let me tell you a secret. They're not thinking about you as much as you think. In 40 years, you won't remember their opinions. You will remember the chances you didn't take. Lesson 4. Every later has an expiration date. There are things you can do at 25 that you cannot do at 70. Backpacking, starting a new career, moving to a new city. Time quietly closes doors while you tell yourself they're still open. Lesson 5. If your daily life is always easy, your future life will be hard. If you always choose the soft couch, the comfortable job, the familiar routines, your muscles, your mind, your courage all shrink. Do hard things now so that later life is bigger, not smaller. Lesson 6. The people you love are part of your dreams too. Don't postpone time with them for some one-day special occasion. Make today special in small ways. A walk, a deep talk, a spontaneous trip. Memories just need intention. Now, let's talk about you. If you died 5 years from now, at 90, just 5 years from today, would you be proud of how you're spending your days? Are you living in a way that feels honest to who you really are? Or are you hiding behind comfort, calling it being realistic? If nothing changed in your life for the next 10 years, would you be okay with that? If your answer is no, then what exactly are you waiting for? Life will never send you a notification saying, now it is safe to follow your dreams. You have to choose on an ordinary day, like today. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Take 10 minutes alone. No phone, no noise, just you and a piece of paper. Write down one dream you've been postponing for years. Then, write the smallest possible action you can take toward it in the next 24 hours. Message someone. Research a course. Say no to one thing that drains you. Then, in the comments, tell me, what is the dream you're done postponing? And what is the tiny step you're going to take this week so that your 70-year-old self can look back and say, thank you. You finally chose courage over comfort. If this story shook you, don't just click away and forget it. Subscribe to Borrowed Wisdom Stories, because there are many more people my age ready to tell the truth about the lives they wish they had lived. Listen to us now, while you still have time to choose differently. The clock is ticking. Please, don't waste your one life the way I wasted most of mine.